The Switch 2 has been out for a few months now, and whether you love it or hate it, there's no denying it's one of the biggest console launches of the year. But just before release, an accessory maker called Genki found itself in Nintendo's crosshairs. Why? Because they showed off a mock-up of the Switch 2 at CES, before Nintendo had even revealed the console. That bold move triggered a full-on lawsuit, damages, and a settlement. So now that the Switch 2 is here, let's revisit the controversy. How close did Genki's mock-up get to the real thing? And was Nintendo's reaction justified? Genki isn't just some random bootleg company. They've built a reputation over the years for clever Switch accessories, docks, adapters, audio gear, often filling gaps Nintendo ignored. At CES 2025, they decided to show off new accessories for the upcoming Switch 2. Problem was, they didn't have the console yet. So they built their own mock-up based on online leaks and rumors, and displayed them as if they were the real deal. Nintendo immediately hit back. According to legal filings, they accused Genki of three things: trademark infringement, using the Switch brand name and logo; false advertising, creating the impression they had insider access to the unreleased console; unfair competition, profiting off the hype around Nintendo's hardware. In short, Nintendo claimed Genki was misleading people into thinking they had official Switch 2 hardware when they didn't. Genki, for their part, argued that the mock-ups were never meant to fool anyone. Polygon reported that they were built from public leaks, essentially educated guesses to help them demo accessories. They stressed that they'd never seen the real Switch 2 and didn't have insider info. But once the photos hit social media, many assumed it was a leak of the actual console, and that's exactly the confusion Nintendo wanted to avoid. By September 2025, Nintendo and Genki settled the case. Genki agreed to stop using the mock-ups, pay damages, and avoid branding that looked too close to Nintendo's design in the future. It was a quick end to the fight, but it showed once again just how aggressively Nintendo defends its IP, even against relatively small companies. Here's where it gets interesting. Now that we've seen the actual Switch 2, we can compare. Genki's mock-up, they weren't 100% accurate. The real console's design, larger OLED display, sleeker dock, and upgraded Joy-Con rails didn't perfectly match their prototypes. But they were close enough to spark hype. Close enough that screenshots of Genki's booth spread online and convinced people it was the real console. This lawsuit fits a long pattern for Nintendo. They've shut down fan projects, targeted ROM sites, even cracked down on modding communities. In this case, yes, Genki technically crossed the line by displaying a fake console at a major trade show. But it's also clear Nintendo wanted to send a message: don't mess with our marketing machine. My take? Nintendo had the legal right to do this, but it feels heavy-handed. Genki didn't leak the Switch 2, they made a mock-up. Did it really hurt Nintendo, or did it actually help build hype for the console we now have in our hands? This tension between protecting IP and stifling creativity is something Nintendo has wrestled with for decades. And once again, they closed the nuclear option. So what do you think? Was Nintendo justified in suing Genki, or was this corporate overkill? And now that the Switch 2 is here, how close do you think those mock-ups really got? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading.